Hey kids, cook real food. Katie Kimball here for the Healthy Parenting Connector, where we strive every week to connect you with experts who have the information you need to raise the healthiest kids. Today, we're twisting that just a little bit because a healthy kid has a healthy parent. And I am pleased to welcome Dr. Ryan Wohlfert, my Michigan buddy. If I could throw a ball 100 miles, I could throw it to him. Thanks for being here, Dr. Ryan.
Oh, this is going to be great. Thank you, Katie, for having me on here. When I saw Healthy Parenting Connector, I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Healthy parents.
Yeah, so Dr. Ryan runs upgradedparents.com, but his background is as a healthcare practitioner. He's helped thousands of patients elevate their health and energy at multiple chiropractic, nutrition, and wellness clinics. I wish you were a little bit closer because I would love to be your patient. He's the co-creator of the Superhuman Brain Masterclass, which has been viewed by over 100,000 people. I was one of them. I'm still using the Sleep Cycle app. I remember I started that after watching pieces of the masterclass. And I was just trying to think this morning, because I know there were, you get a nugget of information, then you start using it and you forget where you got it from. So I know there were more because that class was so just revolutionary for me and so good because I don't want to lose my brain power. I can feel
Wow.
myself losing vocabulary here and there. So that was fantastic. That was like the world's top neuroscientists, brain researchers, doctors, biohackers, and all these cool solutions to upgrade energy and performance for people. But the brain is not your only passion because Dr. Ryan is all about bringing knowledge and guidance to parents to help parents heal and upgrade their brains, their energy, and their longevity. And so today we're talking about how parents can look, feel, and perform their best to best impact their family and the world. And what's kind of the origin story here, Dr. Ryan? What do you want people to know?
Well, I got this started because I was just seeing so many, long story short, I saw it happen with my grandparents, them losing their health, cancer, dementia, heart disease. And I saw my parents have to take care of them on 24-hour shifts, looking after them. I see it with my patients and their families and their mom and dad. I see it with my friends. And it's like they don't even realize it. Parents have the greatest responsibility to their kids, but I believe they even have that even more to themselves. And if you ask their family, their kids, their spouse, what is the most important thing that you want for your parents is for them to be healthy. Because one, if they don't stay healthy, guess who's going to be taking care of them? Probably the kids, right?
Sure.
That falls.
Our kids are young, our children don't understand that
Mhm.
might be what's coming. But as far as just, yeah, you think about anytime you hear about another parent getting sick or getting cancer, like the
Mhm.
anxiety in my kids
Yeah,
and thinking about us, like it's immediate.
yeah.
Might not be able to state it, but they definitely want their
Mhm.
parents to be healthy.
And I know parents want to be healthy. Everybody wants to be healthy, but having kids and having extra, on top of already working and all the other responsibilities in life, now you throw that into the mix, and that just doubles, triples, quadruples the, I want to say difficulty, but I'll say it, the difficulty and obstacles that parents might have. So yes, we hear it, we're like, yes, I know I need to take care of myself, but I have this and that and this.
No.
Well, that's where I come into play. I love showing parents how to do it, how to incorporate it into their lives, already into their lives with little steps. And you and I, people might look at us and parents might look at us and say, well, you guys are already healthy. It's easy for you. Well, I've been in the health field for almost 20 years now. And if, as a practitioner, but even before then, as a patient, as somebody who was involved in health,
Mm.
and it's not like an overnight thing, which I don't know if that gives them solace or not, but it's just little steps here and there. Just like you said, watching the Superhuman Brain Masterclass, picking up little nuggets and using those, enacting those. And that could be with your diet, nutrition, sleep, posture, spine, mindset, faith, all these different areas of life. The cool part is you don't have to just pick one, you just pick one for now.
Yeah, and it's never too late to start. I mean, that's definitely a piece of your mission. And I know I hear it said that the biggest chasm in the world is that gap between knowledge and implementation. And you just said it, like we know we should be healthy. And I think sitting in that gap is this big, huge excuse called children.
Mhm.
Well, I'm a parent, so blah, 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 right? I don't have time for this. Or, well, my kids don't sleep well, right? And it's this huge excuse, and it's very valid. But I think you're going to give us the tools today to like wrap that excuse up in a ball and throw it out in the trash, because it's valid, but it's
Mhm.
still harmful if we just say, well, I have 5 kids, so I can't possibly be healthy, right?
Right. And that's also when you have kids and they're getting older, what do you automatically think? Oh, they're getting older, so I'm getting older. Or no, I hear I'm getting old. That's a difference between getting older or aging and
Mm.
getting frail or getting old. There's that little mindset tweak right there is when we allow ourselves to say that and to believe it and hear it from doctors, the media. Well, this is what happens when you get older. Yes and no. That doesn't mean you have to lose your energy. That doesn't mean you have to accelerate the aging process to where things or diseases or symptoms you might have gotten when you were 80, 90, or 100 years old, now you're getting them at 40, 50, and 60 years old. That doesn't make sense to me. If it was all about age, then, or if it was mainly about age, then everybody, when they hit a certain age, would feel the same way, would have the same disease, their bodies would be broken down. But it's hilarious because once you start looking for it, in longevity, I call it active longevity.
Mm.
It's just been presenting itself to me. I saw a 100-year-old, just flipping by. I don't watch the news, but the universe, God had it. It's like, all right, you're going to just flip through the channel, and boom, ended up on this 100-year-old bowler, got a 140 average. And then another one, this 100-year-old dancer who started her own business at 56 and has already outlived 3 husbands.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
but anyway, that age is just, it's not a excuse. And the reasons that we give, like you just said, Katie, the reasons, well, I have kids, so I don't have time for that.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is turn those excuses into reasons why you do take care of your health. To me, that's a huge reason to find out, to keep exploring, to keep watching shows like yours, the Healthy Parenting Connector. I have a master class called Upgrade Your Energy. All those things to help put in our memory banks.
Mm-hmm.
Just the more that we can hear it over and over again, the more it just sticks in there.
Yeah, what we say is what we believe, and what we believe often becomes our reality. So I love that you kind of pick apart the semantics and say, you know what, we should not be saying I'm old. Like, that's a destination that we cannot accept that we're there
Mm-hmm.
yet. I don't want to ever accept that I've
Yeah.
arrived at old.
Well, and even it's, again, I might go a little too far, but my friends, when I have a birthday, and my friends, they know how I feel about people saying, "Oh, you're getting old."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah. Well, and when it's my friends, I totally understand where it's coming from. They're just trying to get me riled up. But even when my girls, my oldest just turned 16, got her driver's license, so that's pretty cool. And I have a 14-year-old and 12, and when they have birthdays, and I cringe. I don't say anything when family members like, "Oh, you're getting old," because it plants that seed. Like, okay, every year you're getting old, but that's not the truth. You're just getting older. That's just
Mm-hmm.
cool. You want to keep getting older, but you don't have to break down, and that's what I think the semantics of that
All
means.
right. So we don't have to choose. You firmly believe we don't have to choose between health and energy, youthful energy, and being a parent. But how, like, practically, give us some practical tips here, because we've talked very philosophically, and I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
all jazzed up because totally my husband and I have been saying, like, oh, I hate getting old. It sucks. But it's like, okay, wait a second. Dr. Ryan says we're not going to talk like that anymore. So
Mhm.
that's all well and good. But how do we capture some of that youthful energy that, like, you and your wife show? You guys got to follow Dr. Ryan on Instagram. They'll be like carrying around cinder blocks, and oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
Well, it's just doing stuff like that. But I break it down into, like, I don't want to say 6 steps, or it's actually called a 6-pack. The 6-pack of health, energy, and life,
Nice.
and longevity. And I try to make it simple. I like simple things.
Mm-hmm.
They're all F except for one word. You could even, this is a parent station, so I don't say F bombs, but you can call them F bombs too. But focus, food, fitness, function, refresh, and faith. I
Okay.
know I took liberties with refresh because I could not find an F word for sleep, but that's what sleep is. All right, so focus is your mindset. We've talked about that already in this first 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is your physiology is controlled by the narratives and the stories that you tell yourself. And I love this example in this experiment that was done. I just heard about it last week. Was they took a group of people and they said, okay, if you ate this 180 calorie pint of ice cream or this 620 calorie pint of ice cream, which one would be unhealthier? Which one would cause your body to, be unhealthier faster? Right, the 620 calorie. It's not a trick question. And then, so what they did is they gave one group the 620 calorie one and the other group the 180 calorie. And they ate it for a period of time. They took their like blood pressure, they did the blood work, the insulin, the hormones. They asked them about their energy and their vitality and their just zest for life. And of course, the 600, I shouldn't say of course, but yes, we know the 600 plus calorie group all had worse markers for those. They all were aging faster. And that's what it is. Here's the kicker. And I call it, this is the M. Night Shyamalan
The plot twist?
The plot twist, yes. The twist ending is this. It was both, that one pint was the same ice cream. It was the same calories, 180 and 180.
Oh, they tricked group 2, you mean?
Yes. So group 2 had it in their mind that this stuff is unhealthy and unhealthy and unhealthy. And it fooled their physiology into thinking, okay, that's all the difference was their mindset they took into it.
That's powerful.
Now, I'm not saying to the parents
I think
listening,
I'm hearing you say eat lots of ice cream.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hearing, and feel really good about it. No.
But your subconscious, your unconscious knows that it's not. Like, if you could say that, but
Darn.
But anyway, that just proves the power of the unconscious. So these stories that we tell ourselves, like, oh, you're getting old, it gets planted as our story, it plays out in our physiology, and then the behaviors that we take. So now we might not carry cinder blocks. We might not go for a run up a hill. We might not get down on the floor because we can't get up because our body has changed as a result of what we told ourselves. So that's why focus, that's the first part that I teach parents, because that is the thing we have to, I don't like the word overcome, but it's one thing we have to address first. Because I could show you the best diet that worked for you. I could show you the best exercise plan, but unless you the things that are holding you back, because we all know there are healthier foods to eat, but why don't we choose them? Why do people lose a bunch of weight and then gain it right back? Why do we start an exercise program and then stop? Why do we start good habits and then stop? It's not about the conscious behaviors, it's the unconscious drivers that are driving us to repeat the old habits over and over again. So that's focus. Food, these simple, if you're not drinking water first thing in the morning, okay, that's the simplest thing I can tell you.
Okay.
Drink 16 to 32 ounces of water first thing in the morning. And for extra credit, squeeze some lemon in there.
Phew, I did that this morning. Score.
Okay. And those are the, I want to say minimum, but those are the low-hanging fruit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Work on that. And once you start doing that, then you can start doing more. And for the parent who's listening to say, well, I already do that. Okay, so now, add the lemon. Okay, so now make sure you get half of your body weight in ounces every day.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're driving your kids all over the place, make sure you have water, not in a plastic bottle. I would say use a glass bottle, and even like the tumblers are fine, but put water in there, not necessarily coffee, to help hydrate you while you're sitting at their game. So here's a fitness tip. So we got focus, we got food, fitness tip. While you're at your daughter or son's track meet, while you're at the basketball game, while you're sitting at the field, get up, either walk around. Your parents probably thought I was crazy a couple years ago. at the track meet, I was up in the stands and doing my mobility exercises, my side lunges, my walking lunges, my thoracic rotations, and use that time because you're sitting there for 2-3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just sitting there, get up, move around, do some stretches. Now for function, what I consider function is, well, let me ask you this. Any questions about those, Katie?
No questions, but I do have to comment that that's such a great tip about using the time, especially like with younger children. Parents go to their practices too. It's not that important that you're like 1000% engaged with your vision every single minute. It's such a good tip, but you got to be ready for people to say things to you. I know I follow another like fitness mom influencer, and she talked about, you know, taking our kids to the playground and going to the side and like doing her workout routine, and people would say, like, what's wrong with you? Don't you care about your kids? You're not even near them. And she's like, hold up. Number one, I am becoming a better mom because I'm keeping myself fit. And number two, my children need to learn to play and explore by themselves. And this is what I firmly believe, right? So like, not that you don't have to be confrontational, that sounded a little confrontational, but like you do have to know what you believe and just be ready to be a good example if people do say something to you, because sometimes it happens because parents can be bullies too.
Well, and that falls right into that pit of, okay, now you feel like that's where you have to be strong in your convictions, like you said, because that could weigh on somebody and it just plant that seed of you're not a good parent because you're not paying full attention to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying full attention. I can't believe you're spending 5 minutes doing these squats. Come on, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, that is, oh, thank you so much for sharing that, because that is one of the problems is parents almost shaming other parents for not being completely in the grill of their kids 24/7. That's not healthy for the kids. Like, I want my kids to be self-sufficient. I know my wife does too. And if we keep, and I feel like I fall into the habit of doing too much for them and making sure I want to make sure I prepare them for life as well. So that's just another opportunity to do that. And you mentioned the park. So when you have younger kids, younger children, you got monkey bars, and heck, you can play tag with them. That's what we did all the time is we'd play tag and have, you know, freeze tag and run up the hills and over the bridges and do obstacle courses. So there's plenty of things you can do while they're young, while they're in their tween years, while in their teenage years. Mm-hmm. And then that will set you up for, you know, when they're graduated and out of the house.
Yeah. And there's a super important mental state, I think, with that, because I know I see a lot of parents, and I feel it in myself too, like, oh, like I don't want to play with my kids. It tires me out. You know, I'm happy to get a little break and let them play in the playground. But I think if you can have that mental shift and say, you know what, I get to play with them, and it's a double bonus because I'm also getting the exercise that I actually desire. I mean, it's you're doing the exact same activity, but if your mental state about it is positive, you're going to feel so much better about your day.
I love it. I get to instead of I have to. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's perfect. So I'll just finish up the last three because I know parents.
Yeah, so we got
the last three.
We got focus, food, fitness,
now
function,
which is that's posture, spine, and brain, because all function comes from the brain. From above down, inside out. See, and every time I mention that, people sit up straight.
Well, I'm not sitting, but I'm not all. Am I straight?
Okay. So it's the same thing with breathing. I'll just throw that in there too. We need to breathe, because that's another quick actionable item is take 10 deep breaths first thing in the morning. And for extra credit, 10 deep breaths right before bed or at night into the diaphragm and out. That in and of itself helps the oxygenation, helps detoxify, and it's a free thing that you can do every day. Mm-hmm. So with posture, and posture affects your breathing as well. So if that is off, either that slump posture, another tip for posture, if you're on your cell phone, lift it up. Don't, so here, let's say you're on your phone, and I'm not saying be weird about it, but bring it up here rather than down in your lap. And make sure kids do not put their phones in their laps. Okay?
Which is really hard to do. Like, do you have a tip for kids? My kids just like sit pretzel style on the floor with a tablet. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know, like, I don't know how to tell them to get better posture with that. Do you have a strategy for the tablet use?
I would have them maybe even lay down on their stomach
Mm-hmm.
and have it on the floor.
That's better. Okay, good.
Yeah, just because if they're sitting cross-legged, then again, it induces that slumped posture.
For sure. It's guaranteed that they have that
Yeah.
bent neck. So we
Mm-hmm.
have a great posture interview with, Maggie. I lost her name.
Oh.
I'll figure it out, but we'll link to it. We'll link to it with
Okay.
this. We do have a great posture interview, and she gave the same tip, Margie Bissinger,
Okay.
about holding the phone up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of her a lot. I'm like,
that's not just for
Margie.
kids. That's especially for parents. Oh my gosh, and you are a reflection of what your kids are going to do. Monkey see, monkey do.
Mm-hmm.
Parents, kids see, kids do.
Mm-hmm.
So posture is important for your health. And then we got refresh, sleep. I know parents a lot of times are sleep deprived. Your schedule gets off. Do the best that you can with the schedule. But sometimes, especially if you have young kids, babies, 1, 2, 3 years old, they might get up in the middle of the night. They might be sick. So do your best to get quality sleep using essential oils, lavender. For some reason, for me, lavender doesn't work as well as like maybe Roman chamomile to diffuse in your house, but just something easier is black out your windows, make sure that it's just almost like a cave that you're sleeping in. Because even the littlest amount of blue light, because you're not just your eyes, but even your skin has sensors on it too, can interrupt the sleep. So we want to make it as quality as possible, especially if you can't get the quantity of, at minimum 6 hours, and that's the bare minimum. 7 or 8 hours is ideal. And then the last thing, faith. Now, I know you and I are on the same page with this, Katie. To me, to Katie and I, this means religion. We're fine with expressing our faith. For somebody else, it might be not that. I mean by spirituality, whatever that is for you, a belief in something bigger, your purpose, and even a belief in something that you just haven't seen yet. It's having faith in your health, having faith in, again, like I said, your purpose. So those are all those 6 things right there that I manage, I take care of, I care for on a daily basis. Some a little bit more than others, depending on the day. You don't have to be maximum on every single one of those every day. For example, I'm trained as a chiropractor, so I've seen tons and tons of spines. And some of them we just can't rehabilitate. We just have to manage what is there. So that means, now we have to focus on our focus in those other parts. We can always control the food that we eat, the things that we drink, and we can't do certain fitness activities if, they're just physically can't do them. So then we modify that. Sleep, same thing. We can modify all these depending on the person.
Yeah, so it's doing the best you can with the situation you have. I saw a great statistic recently, and it had to do with stress, and it said actually like taking the first step, like actually just deciding to make a change in your stress level mitigates 90% of the negative effects because of that mindset stuff. So, it's all about just making little changes. And I agree with you that faith doesn't have to be a spiritual being. It can just be purpose. Like human beings need to feel like we have a purpose, or we start to feel kind of useless, and that doesn't do anything good for our physical, mental, or emotional health at all.
And see, it's cool because whenever I see these longevity articles or news reports, and they usually touch on 4 of them. It's food, fitness, and there's different aspects of food. So they might say water, and I include that in my food and fuel. In fitness, they might say go for a walk, or exercise, which that's obviously fitness. Sleep, they mention here and there, but the ones they do and they don't. It just depends on which one that I read.
Right.
They talk about mindset, they talk about having a positive attitude, but this is where that disconnect comes. How do you do that, right? It's not just, okay, I'm going to think positively, because we've been trained to think negatively based on our evolution, based on what we've done over thousands of years. And that negative thinking has been ingrained in us. So it's not just as simple as, okay, I'm just going to think positive. I don't know about you, but that hasn't worked for me in the past. That's why I started this too, was to help parents retrain that mindset. And that's why it's the first part. It's funny that you mentioned committing and deciding about that. That's the first step to decreasing the stress. And on my like 9-step, like my roadmap that I take people through, that's the first thing is you got to commit. You have to just accept that, you know, you are who you are, and that you can upgrade your body, your brain, your life, your energy, your longevity. And then the second step is identifying and focusing and being aware. So yes, that's awesome that you mentioned that.
Super cool. And I know when I read longevity articles, they often talk about community as well and the power of community. And I know you run an online community. So I want you to talk a little bit about that and how that fits into this whole training ourselves to upgrade our parenting.
Well, one part is, you know, one of the places on Facebook, it's called Upgraded Parents, Eliminate Your Limits. It's a free Facebook group. And it's a community for health and mindset driven parents. And we are so geared, like as parents, we're so geared to thinking every website, every blog, every Facebook group is geared toward how do I make my kids' life better, which is awesome because you got that covered. I love, you know, kids cook real food. I learned so much from yours. Every time I have a question about, I mean, you've done all the research on, you know, what type of lunch containers and pans and all this. So yes, that's awesome. I want to be there for the parents because I just, you know, corresponded with a parent today saying, asking her, you know, what can I provide for you in the group? And she had mentioned, again, something about how I can help my kids be healthy. And I messaged her back and I said, remember, this is to help you stay healthy. We're not ignoring your kids. We're just making you feel better and be your best and upgrade your life because by doing that, you're only going to make your kids' life better. You're only going to decrease the stress in your life and in their life. So there's too few places like that I found that wants to help parents change, not upgrade. I like the word upgrade. That's why it's upgraded parents. You know, update their mindset. And maybe it's for them, maybe it's for not, but that's who I want to work with is people who are parents who are driven to better themselves.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool that it's for parents because people can connect on that level of, well, I'm a parent, so I'm not getting much sleep. I'm a parent, so, and use kind of what feels like weaknesses and limitations and upgrade them into your focus and your food and your fitness and all that stuff. So that's a completely free group. We'll make sure that we link to that anywhere we share this video. But right now, here at like the early October 2019, if you're watching this right away when it comes out, what do you have in store for us? Something a little special this week, yeah?
Yes, I am hosting a free online masterclass. It's called Upgrade Your Energy, and that's where I'm going to be giving and diving even deeper into this 6-pack. So giving you 6 simple tweaks to feel younger faster, to boost your energy and focus. So that's where that brain health comes in, and live a long, active, healthy, energetic life with your family, not for your family. It's kind of both, but so you can take care of your family for the rest of your life. So you can be there with them, enjoying life with them. So that's called Upgrade Your Energy Masterclass. So make sure you check that out.
Definitely. We will have links to that as well. And then as we wrap this up, Dr. Ryan, what's you've given so many practical tips. Maybe you don't have any more. You probably have tons, but I always like to leave people with like, what's like the one thing we can walk away with that we can keep in our busy parent brain and implement today to upgrade our parenting, upgrade our health.
I saved one for the end because it's the third one that I give for my low-hanging fruit. And this will be explained even more during the masterclass.
Perfect.
But it's called SCAN. You know, scan your thoughts. And just real simple, not just everything, but scan your thoughts, watch what you say this whole week based on health. Like either your kids or even hearing people say things to you. Watch out what you say. And I was on a call with one of my upgraders. That's what I call my health participants. And right off the bat, he said something about, same old, same old. Okay, that's got a negative connotation to that. You know, if you're saying, same old stuff, I feel great, this and that. But if you're like same old, it's like you're saying, this is the way it is, and this is how it's always going to be. That you're doomed to whatever fate that you have laid out for you. So that's just what I want you to do. Just do nothing else. Just become aware, scan your thoughts when you wake up, when you're making breakfast, when you're in the car, when you're at work. What are you saying about your health? You get up from your chair and you're like, ooh, that hurt. Well, it's just part of getting older. Okay, do you say that to yourself? If you do, get to that master class so we can reprogram that.
Yeah, so before you reprogram, before you change your thoughts, you just have to be aware of them. That's the scan
Yes.
step. Perfect.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. Yeah, I know in my life, probably about a year ago, I realized that every time someone said, how's it going? What's new? I'd say, I'm busy. I'm like, you know what? That is such a crappy, empty answer. It means nothing. And it's like this combo of negative connotation and like wearing busyness like a badge of honor, which it shouldn't be. Like that doesn't describe my life. I don't want my life to just be busy or just full. So it took like, it's really hard work, and I still just want to say like, oh, I'm so busy because it's true. But I'm like, I have to challenge myself to think of something more specific, because people, if they ask that question, hopefully they actually care, So that's just one little tweak.
I got one challenge for the parents listening too, is this. I do this with my patients all the time. It just catches them off guard. Instead of saying, how are you? I say, what's good today? So then it's a weird question, like, what the heck? And 9 times out of 10, they say something about the weather, typically. Or, living in Michigan, every time we have a great day, that's what they say. And if it's not that, what they'll say is, it's almost like they start complaining about something. And I say, that's what's good? Oh, no. It's like, oh no. I'm like, no, what's good today? And it just, instead of like, how are you? It just gets them in that boom frame of mind. Okay, nobody really asked me that, but that's what we should be asking each other. What's good today?
That's a great one. That's a great one to ask kids about school too. Instead of how was school, what happened at school, what was good at school, because it does, when we look for the positive, it trains our brains and creates those neural pathways, right? See, I was listening to the Superhuman Brain Masterclass. Then now we are more likely to look for the positive in the following day or in the following moment. So that's fantastic. Totally actionable stuff, Dr. Ryan. I'm always encouraged and lifted up talking to you, and I really appreciate you joining us today on the Healthy Parenting Connector. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, everyone, we will be back next week with more experts who have the information you need to raise extremely healthy kids. I'm Katie Kimball for Kids Cook Real Food. Thank you for being here.